What's the ultimate goal of transformation and change as a society, not just in terms of corporations or enterprises?
Right, that's not a big question at all. So I'll draft off OG for a moment and just totally agree. I think the thing about the shiny object is it's shiny. It's exciting to talk about. Certainly makes you feel like you're being progressive and modern by having that discussion, and it's purchasable. You can buy it, and so we saw so much in the last 5, 6 years, even longer, 10 years, in the RPA space. People went out and bought those licenses because it was a thing that they could do. It felt like they were making progress, and then they ended up on the shelf because there wasn't a particular end goal in mind for the enterprise specifically. So that's somewhat of a micro view of how do we transform our onboarding process or our mortgage sort of validation certification process or our accounts payable or our supply chain logistics order management processes. That was the end goal they should have been shooting for is a better process, more efficient, more lean, therefore creating a better outcome, happier customers that stuck around and kept doing business with you. If you expand that to the macro view, then you ultimately look at what are the characteristics we talked about a lot in this whole adoption of intelligent automation was it made your people more effective because it gave them a chance to be human. It gave them a chance to bring creativity and empathy and a more sort of nuanced view to the work that they did for the purposes of creating a better outcome. And if you expand that further, unleashing people, unleashing resources that are tied up inefficiently, removing the friction that exists in every enterprise, no matter how big, small, old, young, you then have resource you can make decisions about how to apply. And you can apply those resources various different ways. From the enterprise lens, you apply them to make better products, make better services, be more proactive about supporting your customers, reach out to them rather than just wait for them to call you and say, this thing is painful and it broke or it isn't supporting me the way that I thought it would. And then in a macro global level, you can use those resources to do things like, and we speak about this in the book, effectively what isn't going as well as we would globally hope would be going well. That's things like big macro things like healthcare, like education, like environmental stewardship. And so if you have the resources and the time and the ability, then if you think as a global citizen and you invest as a global citizen with a long view of an outcome that better serves all global citizens today and tomorrow, then you start to focus on how, as an enterprise, you can be more of a proactive global citizen and focus on sustainability in health and education, in environment, et cetera.